All right, today we're going to talk about what I call T-Face Man and the Fleur de Lis and the Plasma Apocalypse again. So look how many ancient artifacts have the same kind of T or Treed or Tesla symbol or just that same exact shape. And I think it comes from this plasma event, and I'll show you more about that, but it connects to Medusa, gods in Java, and even Dionysus. So one more time, just look how many, Turkey, England, Spain, Anatolia, Jordan, Greece. It's all this same like Fleur de Lis kind of T-face design with the two dots for the eyes. This is the same thing. It's just another variation of the Squatterman motif. And it even is on a lot of these ancient Sumerian. You find the Fleur de Lis. And then just all kinds of ancient artwork and esoteric artwork, occult artwork. You find variations of this Fleur de Lis or this T-shaped. Sometimes it can kind of look like a mushroom. But yeah, it goes all the way back to, Egypt and Sumeria. And I found it in a lot of paintings that looked like, that had angels and things coming from the sky and stuff like that. And it's also the Vajra. It's also the thunderbolt of the gods. It's just different points in the discharge and formation of these plasma forms as it conforms to magnetic fields. When the gases in our sky ionize into plasma and start following magnetic fields, people start seeing basically neon signs in the sky, and one of these parts of the formation, one of the stages, I guess, is this T-face or this Fleur de Lis or this spiraling, mushrooming kind of thing that happens with it as it goes through its stages. And there was Mayan and Aztec stuff. Here's one from like Africa, some tribe that dresses up in like a ghost costume or something, white robes with funny hats and the little Fleur de Lis pattern. And then here's another kind of version of it. Actually, this is a completely different thing. I think this is Zangbedo, just some monster that's supposed to ward off evil spirits and even dress up like this to scare off the neighboring tribes who come to loot them and stuff or whatever is the narrative. And then here, this is the same thing. It's just one of these things. And notice how it has a goat leg. You see the spider, grandmother spider at the bottom. You see the green dragon or the green serpent in the middle. See the skull and crossbones. You see the Fleur de Lis at the top. You see the asterisk or the flower as well. It's all red, blue, and green, and yellow, all the primary colors, the plasma, the, what do you call them? The noble gases, the gases in our air, the color they ionize to. Here's another ancient coin that looks like a combination of the T-face with the, do all these people have unibrows, Now imagine, it looked like it combined that with the Statue of Liberty too, but, or Helios. Look at this, though. If you cut off the top portion, just look at the bottom half, you can see the T shape with the two eyes. So I don't know if it's a variation on the same thing, most likely. And this isn't exactly T-face, but I did notice a lot of ancient gods and these petroglyphs kind of have hoops, which... or it can be a replacement for the two dots because it's really a torus, it's a donut, and they sometimes you only see the most intense points, which are on the sides, so it can look like dots. But if somebody sees the whole thing from their perspective, it'll look like a hoop. So I didn't choose the hoop life chose me. I didn't choose the T-face man, Squatterman, Fleur de Lis life, it chose me. I'm obsessed, and I can't stop finding these T-face guys who haunt my dreams. The unibrowed T-face guys. And here's what it could be depicting. You see the guy holding the mushroom at the top. That's a petroglyph. And there's petroglyphs of like what look like mushrooms, or sometimes they get called ram's horns or hammers of the gods. But here's another way that I think that, just this stuff was stylized, given characteristics in human form. And I'm getting a little off topic. I'm going to try to stick more to the T-face man stuff in the Fleur de Lis, but I just want to throw a little bit of that in there because it's kind of related. It's all related. In this, you see the cross, the X, you see the T-faced men. They look like aliens. I don't know if they're cone heads or what, the Homo capensis, or if it's just a stylization of what they saw in the sky, which is the most likely explanation, because all across this realm, in petroglyphs, in megaliths, in monoliths, in what do you call them, stelae, standing stones, you see these same exact motifs of these squatting men, these T shapes. See, here's the T, but the wavy lines coming down and almost look like an angel, like it has wings. See, there's so many tropes and motifs on this, but I think it's so easy to see the T. Right, and then sometimes if the indentation is extremely pronounced, it can look like an M too. So TM, MT, mountain, TM, trademark. I don't know. It's probably just stretching, making connections that shouldn't be there. But yeah, the T and the M definitely, and the ram. You can kind of see the ram's horn, or you start to see the owl as the T's make the loops. Right, it almost looks like an owl, or these masked figures that you see sometimes on these petroglyphs, or in even Tibetan art, right? And then sometimes they get depicted as like praying mantises, right? Depending on, or corn, or trees, or whatever, depending on how people see it. But I think it's all this. Well, you see, they even come to dots at the end, just like plasma does. Go look at a plasma, what do you call them? Plasma orb or a plasma dome, the little nodes, right? And this one has a T-face statue on at least 3 of the sides, and then there's a body down below that is radiating. I didn't include that, but it was just, everywhere on these Polynesian islands, in Africa and Ethiopia, no matter where you go, it's the same story. T-faced man, Squatterman. Sometimes they're holding 2 sticks or 2 snakes. This is like ancient, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's Armenian art that shows the spirals at the bottom. It shows the satanic figure with the horns holding the 2 sticks or snakes or staffs or serpents. And then, here's more of it, right? And this is like the Fleur de Lis Squatterman with the serpent all in one, this Armenian traditional embroidery. Hittite, what is that, like Turkey or something? You got the T-face man again in pottery. Again, what do they all have? Unibrows. They all got the 2 dots too. Reminds me a little bit, I don't know, call me crazy, of this T-Mobile logo with the T and the 2 dots and the magenta color. Red and blue are the gases that are most common to colors of ionization of gas. Oxygen and nitrogen, and red is hydrogen, and when they mix, they're kind of magenta or purple. Here you got a cross-like figure with the T-face, which is interesting to me. And then remember earlier the mushroom heads, I saw somebody doing bubble cymatics, and I just watched a video on it and took a few stills of it. And look at this, you got the mushroom head with the cup or the bucket on its head too, and it looks like a standing dude, right? It's just one of the few frames that was like, whoa. Here we've got that monkey with the spiral ears again that reminds me of Leah or the Hopi or the Queen Elche of like Tartaria or Mongolia or whatever it was. And then, more of this T or M shaped. Here it's like turned into a hat instead of the face. And then, even these, see those below the fire disc, the sun disc, this fiery wheel disc, kind of on both sides, the right and left. There's those mushroom-shaped pillars. It's the same thing as that keyhole. It's the same thing as the T. It's the same thing as the M. It's the same thing as the Squatterman. Here's the tree of life spiraling out like a Fleur de Lis or an M or a T under the winged sun disc. Here's, I see Freemasonry, I see Tree of Life, I see Seven-Headed Serpent, I see Fleur de Lis, I see T-Man. Here's more of the, they even symbolize him with the lights here. And he's holding the 3-pronged weapon too, the whip, the trident, the spear, the vajra. This, has some of the same images of the ram's head or the Fleur de Lis or the M, which upside down is a W. Yeah, and then here you see the thing spiraling down on the left. It reminded me of like the eye of Ra, right? Or the eye of Horus, whichever one. And then I remembered seeing a winged disc with that same thing on it. And you even got the bug-eyed, owl-eyed people at the top there with depictions of the sun and whatever, the planets, showing that it's a solar alignment that brings this ionization of the gases in our sky. Here you've got the sideways M, almost looking like a flame trailing a planetary body, some kind of round plasma thing. You got the T shape again, more T's. All right, all these unibrowed, spiral-eyed people. You know how common they are. I see unibrowed, spiral-eyed people all the time. Just go to like Target or something, and you'll see unibrowed, spiral-eyed, squiggly-lined, eyed people with M and I shapes. Yeah, unibrows. And then this is Medjed from Egypt. He was a god that's only talked about in like the Book of the Dead, and he shot killer rays out of his eyes and like was a sign of judgment. And it's compared to some gods that are supposed to be, I think, like Tanit or something, but they remind me of E.T., and you can see the T's and the M's and the wavy lines compared to the plasma experiments on the right and the petroglyphs. Look at this. Yeah, I saw this. I saw a guy who looked just like this at Home Depot the other day. I went, my Sundays are very exciting. I go with my non-existent girlfriend to Home Depot, and we buy things to remodel the apartment that I rent. Look, here's the, almost look like a plasma volcano, or the T, or the Fleur de Lis, or the spiral eyes. It's, it's all the same. So it's the face too, right? And that reminds me of the Sumerian face. Man, I don't think I included that picture in here. But wow, I'm going to have to go back to that one. And then this one, whoa, this blew my mind. I didn't put this together until I was making this video, and I put this image next to this following image. Bonkers. That was a petroglyph compared to like a Greek, or I guess this looks Greek to me, probably with some Egyptian influence. One of the first versions of the cross with Jesus on it. Jesus, right? With his Y face, T face, M face, squatter face. Jesus. And I just kind of outlined it here if you can't see it, right? It's like the... Sometimes these either extremity can bend up or down in this event. It's depending on how the plasma currents are going and stuff. But it's always the M, the spiral, the mushroom, the T, the Fleur de Lis. It's all the same stuff. It's why dragons didn't have wings in the past. They could still fly, though, because they're plasma. Jesus! And check this dude out. He's even holding the two things, just like all the God Self icons, the Master of Beasts, the Squatterman. You got the Masonic symbol there, the two inverted triangles to the right, the T-head. He's even got like what looks like might be the hula hoop, and there's some kind of like star pattern in the middle, almost to show you like this is a stellar, an astral event, a cosmic event. Here you've got T's and M's and... I don't know. This just blows my mind how all of this 100% connects. Look, why would they just scribble this stuff on rocks? Oh, I saw a deer, so I'm going to paint a deer here so people know where to hunt deer. No. Fuck no. Fuck no. Oh, I'm on drugs, so I'm going to draw a palm tree with arms in Arizona. No. That looks like a Tesla coil. And then, so this is all connected to the double eagle, the squatting man, the master of beast, everything. It's all plasma. And I wanted to show you where I think this double eagle comes from. If you look at the bottom left images. And, here's more of the mushrooms and the spirals. And, this is the first time I've seen the blenders, though. The handheld blenders that you mash potatoes with. Mashed potato. And then here's more. It looks just like the Squatterman images that Anthony Pratt got there on the left. It's the Holy Grail, bro. It's the Mushroom Man, the Holy Grail. And then here's some more of these, whether it T's or M's in different positions. It can look like it can get turned into a bird instead of a ram's head or a fleur de lis. But it's all the same thing. That's the Firebird, the Phoenix, the Squatterman. Look, there's a checkerboard pattern on that dragon. And then, it's the same pattern that Epiphone. Now, check this out. Epiphone was supposedly an ancient Greek goddess, and it's basically the same thing as Epiphany. a vision in the air, a revelation, an epiphany, Epiphone, epiphany. And look at some of the interesting logos that Epiphany, Epiphone, their guitar maker, has used that mimic exactly the things that we are talking about today. Coincidence? I think not. Epiphone, a vision, a sound, a revelation from above in the sky. You are all asleep. You would not believe me. Fire wheel burning in the air. Estimated profit by the Grateful Dead. Okay, so moving on, we see some computer simulations of what plasma would react like to in our magnetic field versus petroglyphs all over the world, showing this spiraling eye, kind of owl dude, but you can see where the T comes from on the top right. Oh yeah, and then earlier, that one picture that I said I wish I would include the Sumerian, here it is. See the unique eyebrow or eye ridge that he has, and then the big old eyes? I don't know, maybe. That could be a stretch, but these are not. See, it's not Tanit. It was Inanna. Inanna is that owl, E.T., M-shaped. Crash test dummies. Is that what we all are? Just inside this giant snow globe, plasma tokamak reactor, doomed to death, and then people come and clean up and study the apocalypses. Anyway, more T-faces and similar things on Easter Island that we see in Peru from the Chachapoyas who lived in the mountains. And yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily T-face, but it definitely looks like the same kind of thing where it's like this circle and then an expand, like the blue ribbon, like the, I'll make another video on that, the column, the blue ribbon, the column. But again, just a reminder, here is how many different places it is. The ancient Anatolia one is great on the bottom left because you can see a face, you can see the Fleur de Lis, you can see the mushroom, the M shape. This is like Ecuador. This could just be a random rock or it could be a heat-damaged, melted remnant. Same here. See a lot of, this could be pareidolia, right? This part, not the rest of it, but this one part here could be pareidolia. I'll admit that. But back to this monkey, we're going to explain why he has the spiral ears, and look at the guy to the right with the attached concentric circle kind of eye, kind of spiral thing on his head, coming out of his head. You're going to see that exact, but remember the monkey with the ears too. But there's the same thing in a different place. They saw it in the sky, my friends. Oh, the blender. It's the blender again. Okay. Put it in a blender. Yeah, okay. Now I've got a blender theme going. All right, cool. So anyway, this this is where the spiral ears comes from. It's this part of the plasma formation and development, this stage where it goes through, and some of the tropes that have been developed. I mean, look at the one in the top right. And the Stella, the Copen Stella, right? And then you've got these, the same fucking monkey, squatting even, with the eyeball in his stomach, on some tropical island. And then you've got Rey Mysterio over there, gonna jump off the top rope and get you with the Lucha Libre attack. It's all the same thing. It's just different lenses that it's been interpreted through. Look at the spiral ears on this dude. And the same weird stacking, Andale, mama, iya. What's happening now? It's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes pretty soon because we're all going to get burned with the Squatterman plasma apocalypse Rey Mysterio style. Here we go. T-Face again. This one kind of reminds me of Walter, the Jeff Dunham puppet, but that's probably a stretch. I promise you, I'm not schizophrenic. I just, I'm good at spotting patterns, pattern recognition. And look, the T-Face man is getting craftier at how he hides from me. This one kind of looks like a dagger if you look at it in a certain angle or a certain light, but below the dagger, it forms a T-Face. So it's just another trope, another way they've depicted what they've seen, another angle, he's tricky. And I think the more I'm researching, man, there's a reason China hides a lot of stuff. And the Shen dynasty seems to have a lot of interesting stuff. So let me know where you've seen any of this stuff, T-Faced Man, Fleur de Lis. If you made it this far, leave me a comment. Please share, like, if you dig it. Tell me about your T-Faced men, your M's, your Fleur de Lises, your Squattermen that you see in the comments. And have a blessed day.